Maryland, District of Columbia is a city, and the two other states in the DMV, Maryland and Virginia, for them to start to prepare for some changes that is coming so that there will not be a devastating effect upon these states, that you begin to prepare yourself for Governor Westmore to pay attention onto the things that is ahead of us, and at least look and then do some research. And I know there was a part of the dream that I left out, and when the part of the prophecy that I left out with the warning and the caution about how some policies, and I don't know if you are in these, in fact, all over the United States, you will notice that the federal government has become a competitor with small business in different areas, in almost in every department. They plot and they plan to harm, destroy small businesses that is more um, in support of the Republican Party, and etc. So that as a way, and unfortunately, such is a malicious things, because it's not calculated to deliver on the promise that it was made. So while it was sold to the people, that they reduced by getting rid of the middlemen, meaning getting rid of small businesses that have all these standard and have to comply this standard. They made it impossible by making a competitor, and in which case a lot of providers, doctors, and nurses now have to be directly and involved with the federal government. And then in the way they package it and sold to the American people was that they are actually creating small businesses because they remove the middleman and have given the business into the individual practitioner. But what they didn't tell the American people, that those individual practitioners or businesses does not have the competence, the skill, and the quality that is going to sustain the industry on a larger scale. It's like you telling people, um, you can pay small money, and we are going to pay small money or smaller money to some individuals that can provide a crappy product or service to you, and they call that empowerment, but they don't look at the comorbidity, the little, the fatal mistakes and errors that could lead to loss of lives, complications that will come from malpractices, and incompetence that will increase the cost of those services in our industry, in the healthcare we see, and in the competition. Because today I'm going to tell you a little bit of things, more like a caution, a warning of what is going to come in the future. So that is why I am finishing by adding up a little bit more details to that. That 6 years to be, for example, to become a nurse practitioner is not the same as 12 years to become a specialist in any particular practice, even in the general practice or specialties. They are not the same experience, they are not the same knowledge, the education is not the same, the experience is not the same. And that is a disaster in the DMV, who are quite mostly a white collar job, especially healthcare job, a destination for the nations across the country for complicated health problems, so that we know that the danger is there. I've told you that my own thing is that if you need to see, and if you do need to see a physician, you see a physician. We don't have enough physicians because a lot of physicians have left the industry because they consider a lot of them are irrelevant today. And as an employer, we prefer to hire nurse practitioners which have a cheaper rate than the doctors, or doctors charge more than double or double the nurse practitioners, depending on their experiences. And so it's a real big change. So many changes are going on. But like I gave an example in the message, and I want you to listen to this first before we get in the word, as you know that our ministry bring life, the experiences and what you go through in life, to let you know that God is aware of it and also interested in making sure you make proper decisions, so that you will not have a more critical consequences because of the wrong choices that you make. So you need to see a doctor, look for a physician. If it's something that is already like those that like to maintain medicine, they have medicine they are taking on a regular basis, yes, your nurse practitioners can do that, but the first one must be prescribed by a physician. Look for a doctor and see a doctor for your first visit and first time for that experience. Or even if you see for a nurse practitioner to check and see if you need to see a doctor, if they can be honest in referring you to a doctor, and then after that you can go back and continue with them so that they can maintain the management of the condition or disorder or sickness, however you call it. It's very important. It's not the same somebody who is working in a hospice or in a geriatric nursing home, or respite care, or whichever of those alternative living for the aging, and in the old places, in different places. They might have experiences, a lot of them in the medical, for example, in the behavioral health is new and different for the nurses. So for them to come up in that capacity to be making initial diagnosis and prescription with art experience. I had a case, to give you an example, where somebody called me because he knows I've been in this business for a long time, to see if there is anything wrong, where an NP diagnosed the child for schizophrenia. One of those, I don't know which one of them, schizophrenic conditions, schizophrenia. And